Time for us now to get interactive, where you join the conversation to share your views, your thoughts, your opinions, and any other recommendations you may have regarding today's topic. And it's something we're going to discuss that has become rather synonymous to operations here in Nigeria, particularly as it relates to the academic qualifications of so many people in our society today. Well, this past week, or this week rather, the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board has uncovered at least 1,665 A-level results during its direct entry registration process to be fake. A-level, of course, you know, tertiary institution level certifications. Now, the registrar, Professor Ishak Oloyede, gave the figures when he received officials of the National Association of Nigeria Colleges of Education students in his office. Now, doubling down also on this is the fact that the Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Mamman, this week, while engaging stakeholders in the education sector, had a lot to say regarding the development around fake degree holders in the country, stating that the federal government, after a report set up by the report is finalized by the committee that was set up to look into those degrees racketeering, which was occasioned after that blockbuster sort of reporting by Daily Nigerian Reporter, who uncovered how easy it is for people to get fake degrees and serve in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The minister promised that there will be no stone unturned and that there will likely be a prosecution for those who hold fake degrees in the country. So let's match all of that together and talk about fake certificates in this country and what you think is likely going to happen despite the federal government's promise of going after people with fake certificates. I must say that my hopes are not up regarding this one, because there are so many celebrated cases of people, high-profile people, who have been caught red-handed faking their certificates, and I don't remember them being prosecuted.
No,
at best, they lose their jobs, and that's the end of the story.
Yeah, the most celebrated, of course, will be Salisu Buhari, convicted but granted pardon almost immediately. You know, but we're seeing these things everywhere. You've seen people parading PhD degrees, and you find it difficult to explain how they came about it, or to reconcile that claim, you know, of putting up a very high-profile qualification vis-a-vis outputs, you know, and what they reflect in terms of their work, or even the capacity to defend those level of qualification. The system has absorbed as many of these people as possible, and I'm sure because they continue to find their way, it continues to make that market a very lucrative one for anybody who wants to get in. What we don't understand is what has happened to the checks. It doesn't matter how much people appear, you know, to have qualified for these degrees. What we used to know is that whether it's the place of work or another institution where you are seeking a further degree, there used to be a system that tries to verify those claims, you know, get back to the institutions in question and try to ask questions.
And I think, yeah, it just signposts a systemic failure.
Complete systemic failure.
How people can be in the system with fake certificates for years. And
absolutely.
More often than not, they don't get outed until they run for public office.
That's right.
That is when
even in that case, there's just a few of them.
Yeah.
Because how much of public scrutiny exactly goes on?
It didn't help our image on the international stage when two most recent presidents, former President Muhammadu Buhari and current President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, had to undergo this scrutiny in the public domain as well as in the Nigerian courts to actually prove that their certificates are genuine. So it is yet another blemish in our image regarding this particular development, but also that reporting that exposes how easy it is in 6 weeks or less for people to get those fake degrees and operate with those degrees in Nigeria rather freely is quite indicting of the system. And Jam saying that people who actually use those fake, A-level certificates to apply for direct entry, it's just quite brazen, isn't it? How people are willing to take advantage of the system because they believe they can actually get away with it. But will a likely prosecution help put this to an end? That is the big question. And do we even see that political willingness to go after them? Because it's one thing for JAM to say that 1,665 certificates were fake. Are they willing to go after them? Because I believe those individuals have their names, have the information on those fake certificates. So it's not enough for JAM to just
and they can
turn
be
them down.
blacklisted. Yeah. That's right.
I think we have our first caller. Hello, good morning, and welcome to the program. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
Fine, thank you. Please turn down the volume of your TV set. Yeah, your name, please. Turn down the volume of your TV set first of all. Ahmed from Yobe, go ahead.
My name is Mohammed from Niger State.
Go ahead, Ahmed from Niger State.
The issue of fake certificate in Nigeria is come as a horizon to we citizens of Nigeria, sir. And if really they are going to fight that for us, I think it is very nice idea. Because we that have original certificate that go to school and suffer in the school, time of our school, we suffer, use our body and this one. We don't use to benefit something, but those who have fake results, normally as benefit for us in terms of job. So please, we are advising the government to fight this thing to the court to see that it fixes all those fake certificates in Nigeria, sir.
Well, thank you so much for that direct message that it's not fair that there are people who actually did the work, did the hard work, for passing through that universities, polytechnics, and colleges. And someone is just going to get his own printed from a computer center.
They call it Oluwole in Lagos.
Right.
Once you get into that printing hub, it does appear that you can get just about anything you want. That's right.
Okay, let's speak to our next caller. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. I think we should move to the next one. It appears that we're having some challenges getting through to that caller, but feel free to call back. The number is shown on your TV screen. Rules of engagement, please turn down the volume of your TV set while calling in. We'd love to have a clear-cut conversation without the delay, without the interference. And let's just have your take, whether you think this idea of prosecuting fake certificates in Nigeria is the way to go, and whether or not you believe that the government is actually going to do just that. Hello, good morning, and welcome to the program.
Good morning.
Welcome to the program. State your name and your location, please.
Jan Bailey, calling from Benue State.
Jan Bailey from Benue State. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right. I think this issue of fake certificate is institutional in Nigeria.
Why do you say that?
Because the government lays so much emphasis on certificate. In our country, certificate is worshipped. Such that you see people who come from the States, UK, and all over the places are drafted to be appointed in key government offices and positions, leaving those who have gone through the rigorous process of learning actually starving here in Nigeria or back at home. And so, because of the overemphasis made on certificates, and these foreign certificates whose background we don't know, whose reliability we don't know, are worshipped. That has created a lot of problem for us in the country. And until government takes decisive measures in seeing that certificate is not worshipped, rather talent and intellectual capability is respected. I appreciate the government of Tinubu whose stride is seeing that innovation, technology strives in the country. I think that will take us a step ahead.
All right.
Thank you very much, Jabali.
Thank you. And I think that's a very good point that needs to be made.
It does.
Systematic mindset of inferiority complex, that everything that comes outside of Nigeria is better
superior
than anything inside of Nigeria. And I
That's
don't know, I think for decades it's been imprinted in our minds, whether it's the colonialism, the imperialism,
it's the
whatever it
extension.
is. But
It's
we
the
always feel, you know, look at the whole made in Nigeria versus imported goods. We always feel like, you know, they're always better than us.
That's right. We have another caller. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
Okay. My name is Engineer Willie, calling from Akwa Ibom State.
Oh,
Thank you very
Benjamin
much.
from Akwa Ibom. Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
The issue of this certificate forgery in Nigeria did not start today. You know, we start treating sickness, not minding the symptoms. In Nigeria, I can rightly say that academic excellence has been slaughtered in the altar of money, connection, and politics. I can repeat myself. Academic excellence has been slaughtered in Nigeria in the altar of money, politics, and so many other things. When we are talking about the fake certification in Nigeria, where do we start from? If we now start from when somebody was telling us that the certificate SUV certificate is with the army or so on and so forth, is in America, he was at school in America and so on. Where do we start from? We want to start from if we want to use this A level, that are not occupying political position as the first takeoff. Let's do it now. Then when we finish this one, let us face from the top. You should understand, I want to go critically so that I will not breach my communication because you know how to apply it better. I think the way forward of this country is that to digitize everything from birth certificate, when you finish your primary school, your secondary school, and when you get admission to university, and when you finish your university, when you set everything digitized, so that when somebody logs into a computer, you will be able to get details of your livelihood, your academic, these things and so on. This way we are going. We are pursuing mosquito with a damn gun. Thank you for having me. God bless you all.
Thank you so much. And I love that analogy, by the way. You can't kill a mosquito with a dang gun. You can only make a loud sound, which I think is akin to the lip service we've seen about prosecuting these drug mills, as the not drug mills, fake degree mills that the government is talking about. I think someone is joining the conversation via WhatsApp, so let's take a look at his comment. This one is from Haruna John Daki. From Kwali in Abuja, Odaki. My idea in the aspect of student loan, okay, he's talking about student loan. Federal government is supposed to create a way to help students and to give them loan. Thanks, and may God bless Nigeria. Well, that is the president's way of, saying that he's helping. I mean, you saw the NANS president there saying that this is the best thing for Nigerian students since, I don't know, whatever. We have another caller on the line, I believe. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Good morning.
Yes.
Welcome to the program. What's your name and where are you calling from, please?
I'm calling from Bauchi, the local government area in Bauchi State.
Your name?
My name is Mohammed Bello Misau.
Mohammed Bello Misau. Go ahead, please.
Yes, regarding this issue of fake certificate in Nigeria, I can say it started from the exam malpractice that it has become order of the day in all our schools nowadays. So unless we sanitize the situation from the school level, that teachers are not ready to offer unnecessary exam help to their students for the purpose of them to just come out with good results so that the credit will just go to them. Not to the students. That is what is the major problem of having people being involved in this helping students to do exam malpractices, and those that are not opportunity to be helped by the teachers, they also find their ways out of making fake certificate to just go and acquire the job.
Yeah.
And for the student side, many of them are just going to school not for the purpose of acquiring the knowledge, but for the purpose of acquiring the certificate alone. So unless they put at the back of their minds that they are there to acquire the knowledge, not necessarily the certificate, because people are just there to get the certificate to get them a job. To get them a job.
Yeah.
So unless we tackle this issue from the side of the teachers as well as the side of the students, the teachers to start helping the
students,
teachers in exam malpractice.
Yeah.
And the students to know that they are there to get the knowledge, not just to get certificate. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you most kindly, Mohammed, for joining the conversation. Really appreciate your thought. And that is one of the perspectives that we have to focus on. There's a societal acceptance of this. You have miracle centers, at secondary school level, where if you go to, you're supposed to get... and it's all because of corruption, exam malpractice, and things like that. And you have parents paying for other people to write their
which is what Ben is saying from Uyo this morning. He talks about how the whole thing has become institutionalized. The miracle centers are happening with the active collaboration of parents.
Administrators.
And administrators. So we have completely deflated education at the very foundational level. Where your ward in a school is said to have failed a major subject and is expected to repeat a class at the primary level. And parents storm these schools to say there is no way you are asking my child to repeat a level where her age mates are progressing. You just have to find a way. If the school resists, they pull the wards out of those schools and take them somewhere else. And because most of these schools are just interested in money, they bring in the child and place them at levels where they find it completely difficult. And from there, it's a different story. We have another caller on the line. Your name and where you're calling from. Good morning.
Morning, Andrew from Benue State.
Good morning, Andrew from Benue State.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
You may have to turn down the volume of your TV set and let us have this conversation straight up.
I've already done that.
Thank you very much. Can we hear your thoughts, please?
The topic which people are discussing about is very, very interesting.
Thank you.
Now, the issue of... Hello?
Go ahead, please.
Hey, Andrew, go ahead.
Hello?
Hello,
we can
Andrew,
hear
we
you.
Can hear you. Go ahead if you can hear us. I think, Andrew is not lucky regarding the network signal, but try again, try your luck. I think Andrew really has something interesting to say regarding this one. I think we have a couple of minutes to spare to entertain a call or two. So feel free to give us a call and let's have your say. But going back to the idea of international degrees, for instance, right? Someone goes to Harvard or claims to have gone to Harvard and he comes here. Do you think our agencies that are supposed to carry out these checks and do the due diligence have enough resources to call Harvard or to check, with the database? I know that with technology, some of these things are possible.
Much easier.
But as sophisticated as the technology is, or as easily accessible some of these informations are, the people who are fabricating these certificates are also becoming a lot more ingenious. They're smart with the security features and everything. And more often than not, when people just see, they take it on face value.
That's right.
Oh, he went to the UK to study, he went to India, he went to Germany, and of course he can package himself to make
what we need to really do is to take seriously the aspect of verification, and nothing trumps that. It doesn't matter what you have on the face value. We just have to carry out those verification legs of this result. We have another caller. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
Okay, we've lost that connection. Let's take a look at our WhatsApp page now. Good morning, gentlemen, he said. I like the cap, by the way. That's from Akwa Ibom, right? I think the issue of fake certificates in Nigeria has come to stay. Because even our leaders forge certificates and get away with it. Austin from Port Harcourt. I can't disagree with you, Austin. And I think that in itself is one of the reasons why we're seeing this gradual normalization of this particular development, because people use it as a means to an end.
All right. One of the things we cannot lose sight of is the suggestion that it is about time we digitize certain operations in Nigeria from the moment people are giving birth to, rather than, well, of course, we can still maintain the issuance of birth certificate, but let us digitize this record so that all of the falsifications that happen along the way becomes impossible, as long as the original data has been digitized and shared with very sensitive and platforms or records of governments where they are stored and
Our digitization switch over, is it 2030 now?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure when that new deadline is, and I don't understand why we should have.
And we keep talking about NIN, we keep talking about data harmonization, we keep talking about all of these things. And I think one of our callers suggested that there should be a database where you have like your social security or something like that. Right. Where if we say, okay, Sunday Michael, there's the different, your date of birth, all the information, the schools you went to and things like that should be there.
Hello?
That are not necessarily harmful.
Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from. You probably will be our last caller this morning.
Barida, I'm calling from Niger State.
Thank you very much. Let's have your thoughts.
So talk about the issue of fake academic certificates as you are discussing this morning. The problem we have in this country is that we have been blessed with leaders that have issues with their certificates. And when our head is not too sound with certificates, they cannot take it serious to scrutinize certificates of others. So, if the country is serious about fake certificates, then before you contest for any election, they should screen their certificates. And we should also amend the laws that allow low certificates to hold certain positions, because this is our problem. If you don't have that capacity, there's nothing you can do. You will go there and destroy the whole thing, just as we are suffering now. Because the majority of our leaders, they don't have that certificate that's supposed to take them to the office they are planning to enter. And they enter like that, with certificate or with no certificate. As we speak now, there are so many fake certificates in Federal Civil Service of Nigeria. But anytime you talk about to do the screening, they will not be happy. Some people will be against you. I know of one particular parastatal. They talk about screening certificates. Somebody has to die. They have to kill somebody because it's like marching on people's toe. So that is why this issue of fake certificates, if the government is serious, let it start from top to down. Our leaders should have a clean certificate. Then they will not have the guts to screen others. But when our leader certificate is questionable, tell me who will go and check others. So this fake certificate, if care is not taken, it has come to stay like an option. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that very apt point of view. And you know what, we don't disagree with some of these viewpoints, because they're straight to the heart of the conversation, that you get a sense that there's a normalization of these things. It's a means to an end. There are a lot of people who have these certificates who cannot, defend them, and who do not, have the capacity to actually show that that certificate is actually something that.
And he said something very germane. If you set up a task force, and you don't have to make it public anyways, the records of every civil servant are there. You could just call for these records quietly. First of all, digitize this database to the extent that you can stratify them. You take a university, everybody within the civil service who claim to have come from that university, go into that database with some basic record and forward it to university and give them a timeline to respond. From the presidency,
when fake certificates don't thrive in the private sector, because they can do their due diligence.
Absolutely, and it takes nothing. No matter how long it takes, that will happen.
They will send somebody to the school.
That's right.
HR will call.
They will confirm your references, that they are who they are, and you have that done before your confirmation. Exactly. So if you have a 6-month probation period, you are very sure that all of these verifications would happen before that time. And like you said, so you can see what the output levels are between the private sector and the public service. The public sector is basically just a dumping ground for a lot of these issues, where the private sectors have managed to find a way to ring fence some of this.
Said, somebody would die if somebody says they want to verify certificates.
Today, I can tell you that in Lagos, there are institutions who do nothing else other than verifications. They do profiling. They are professionals. They've got contact in all of the in the security agencies and the institutions. All you need to do is to pay a token, and they will run those background checks for you to be sure that whatever you have on the surface is exactly what you have behind the surface. And these things are not difficult.
We need to sanitize the system, and we need a lot of integrity within the system for us to really
be able
thrive,
to do that.
As a country. Thank you so much for your invaluable contributions. We really do appreciate you for taking the time to call in and to add your voice to this conversation. We will give you yet another opportunity on the next episode.